For the first time, the Oregon Ducks and the Wisconsin Badgers will meet in a bowl game. And you will notice the space-age helmets on the Ducks as they are ready to pour onto the field here before a capacity crowd. And now, with many of their fans back for the second straight year, here come the Badgers. And what a shift in weather conditions as we compare three sites. Pasadena, 82 degrees right now, 20 degrees back in Madison, and 54 up at the Northwest in Eugene. So the captains will now come out. Grand Marshal, of course, J.R. Martinez will flip the coin. We have an ACC refereeing crew here today.
All right, gentlemen. Congratulations on an outstanding season and welcome to the 98th Rose Bowl presented by Vizio. Today we have some special guests who are here to help celebrate your accomplishments, okay? The president of the Pasadena Tournament of Roses, Mr. Richard Jackson, his wife Sharon, and their 4 grandchildren have presented the coin to you, okay? Gentlemen, W for Wisconsin, O for Oregon. Whichever team lands up will be the winner of the toss, all right? Our Grand Marshal today, a great American hero and patriot, J.R. Martinez. J.R., if you will flip the coin, please.
Good luck to both teams and leave it all on the field. Have no regrets.
Wisconsin has won the toss. Your option, we'll take the ball. You're going to receive. Which direction will you kick?
We'll kick that way.
All right, form a line facing this direction. Wisconsin has won the toss and will receive. Good luck, gentlemen.
So let's go down to the third member of our team. Aaron Andrews is with Chip Kelley. Aaron, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Brent. Thank you so much. Chip, let me ask you here. You told me at pregame you haven't played in temperatures like this since August. How will the heat affect your speed throughout the course of the game?
We hope because of our conditioning and the way we practice that it's not going to bother us, but because we rotate so many guys, hopefully that's going to be to our benefit.
Over the past 2 bowl games, you guys have met with some pretty physical defenses, had a tough time. What has to click early today?
Same thing, and we can't turn the ball over early, and that's what we did in some of those other games. You know, we got to make sure we hold on to the football. Turnovers are going to be key today.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, Brent.
And on the other side, Brett Bielema, back for the second straight year, his 6th season as the Badger head coach. One of the great scenes in all of college athletics is the start of a Rose Bowl, as we allow our director, producer, and cameraman to take you around this great stadium. Just settle back, everybody. The Badgers will get the ball first. Enjoy.
Let's go, Doug! Here we go! Let's go!
underway in Pasadena. Abradaris from the 9 for the Badgers. Russell Wilson will come to the 22-yard line for the first offensive series. Russell Wilson, as many of you know, is such an interesting story, Herbie. When you look back, of course, he signed a big contract with the Colorado Rockies, and because he had graduated, he could transfer from North Carolina State and play football at Wisconsin.
Graduating in 3 years in Raleigh tells you a lot about his work ethic. It took him 1 month to learn the Wisconsin offense, to be ready for two-a-days, to win the position. He voted unanimously as a captain by his teammates by after just being on campus for 1 month, and has had a great year with only 3 interceptions.
Peter Kahn starts at center. That's a story. Monte Ball hammers to the 31, and that will be a continuing story. Herbie, some of our impact players.
Well, we've talked a lot already about Russell Wilson. Obviously, his ability to throw and run today will be big. How physical can Monte Ball be today with great quickness? Nick Toon has got to be a difference maker on one side when he's matched up against some smaller corners from Oregon. And Jared Abradaris has had a great year, averaging 16 yards a catch.
So Kahn's missed the last 3 games with that ankle injury. Right back to it for a first down. Ball hammers his way to the 39-yard line, and Michael Clay with the tackle for the Ducks.
Interesting, the first couple plays, Wisconsin showing their power, running between the tackles and running downhill against this Oregon defense. Oregon knows they're a bit undersized up front. And Nick Aliotta, their defensive coordinator, is more than willing to take chances by attacking with safeties to get them down in the box.
The big boys go to work again near midfield for still another first down. So that front with Peter Kahn back at center. Let's show you these 300-pounders who have done such a sensational job. Ricky Wagner. And there, of course, moving back is Travis Frederick to left guard. Kevin Zeitler, Josh Oglesby. Look at the size of those big ones.
And you could argue that this is, when Kahns is in there, it's the best and most physical offensive line in the country, along with Stanford, probably the 2 top offensive lines we saw this year in college football.
From their own 49. Sticking with it. And finally, the Ducks are able to come up with a play, allowing only 1 yard with DeWitt Stuckey, number 52, taking on the running back. And fresh troops already on the field for Nick Aliotta, and that is going to be a story because you know how quickly the Oregon offense moves. Aliotta up here in the box told me before the game he has got to keep rotating his front all game long or they're going to get worn out. James White now the running back. First pass of the game, and it's complete on the slant to Toon.
This is a design power play. So the line went ahead and ran a running play, and he looked off to the left, and he saw they had too many guys up close, so he quickly threw it out to Nick Toon.
Congratulations to Michigan State in triple overtime. They defeat Georgia. We welcome those of you who have been watching the Spartans' first series of the game in the Rose Bowl, and the Badgers, Russell Wilson, back-to-back passes, and another first down. He gets to the outside, and Monte Ball, the great tailback, who has excellent hands, makes his first reception.
Well, this is what they call creep. The defensive line does not get down into the line of scrimmage, and this is a good job of recognizing they bring one too many. The linebacker, DeWitt Stuckey, does not get out that time in coverage, gets locked up with Nick Toon, makes it an easy read and throw that time for Russell Wilson.
Now they have driven to the Ducks 38. Play action, and it's beautiful. Russell Wilson goes deep. Abradaris has got a touchdown. A beautiful play action call by Paul Christ, all set up by the hammering of Monte Ball, and they bit on the fake.
Brent, as you said, when they run the football, it sets up this little outside move and up against a true freshman. He went right by him at Wisconsin. That is a textbook drive by Paul Christ, the offensive coordinator.
Philip Welsh tacks on the extra point. Two great groups of fans. You can see the Duck fans gathered together, and of course the Badgers. DeAnthony Thomas over his head. It'll come out on the 20-yard line.
Now that was, again, the kind of drive Wisconsin wants. All started by Monte Ball, little play action. Now you have the corner ISO'd one-on-one. And I'll tell you, Jared Abbrederis runs as sharp a routes as anybody you're going to see. The former walk-on took advantage of the young true freshman out there on an island.
And the freshmen have to carry the load on the corners today because Anthony Gilden has been battling an injury. So Mitchell and Hill and all the other youngsters, Ekpreolamu, who was there, they're going to have to pick it up. And Darren Thomas is forced to keep it on the first play of the game. And Mike Taylor, the leading tackler in the Big Ten Conference, with his first stop here in the Rose Bowl.
Wisconsin's been preparing for 3 weeks to face this tempo. They've had 2 scout offenses running at them to try to simulate what Oregon's offense might be like. Now they're seeing it for the first time.
Motions DeAnthony Thomas, and Darren keeps it again. First 2 plays of the game, and that's a story, Herbie, because he really has not carried the ball as much this year as he did last year.
Yeah, and Chip Kelley will tell you it's because of the way their games have gone and what defenses have dictated based on the option reads. It looks like in these first couple plays, Wisconsin saying, let's give him a read to keep the ball in his hands as opposed to giving it to Kenyon Barner or LaMichael James.
An efficient passer. He still hands it off to LaMichael for the first down, trying to get to the edge where he's got that great speed. And Henry, number 7, the fine safety for the Badgers, gets him out of bounds.
A great block here by Mark Asper and Grassu, the center, pulling around, just cuts down Chris Borland, the linebacker. And with LaMichael James, all he needs is a crease. And now here comes Oregon with the tempo. 23
yards, puts it at midfield. First pass of the game for the Ducks, and it is complete to Josh Huff.
Now the impact players, it starts with Darren Thomas, not just his ability to run, but his ability to throw. Michael James, of course, DeAnthony Thomas and Josh Huff have quick, big playability in the passing game today, something Wisconsin's concerned about.
Into Badger territory, and coming back with great stop by Nzegwu on that play right there on LaMichael James, his second carry.
Darren Thomas, Brent, you said it. He hasn't really had to run the ball as much this year. Comes in 22-3 as a starter. Really, I think has fought through some injuries earlier in the year. Watching him at practice this week with you, just seems to be in complete command and understands this offense right now very, very well.
With DeAnthony motions, Darren looks that way, throws to an open receiver, reaching for the end zone, and it's down on the 1-yard line. Tuine makes the catch, and the line judge right there spotted it just inside the 1-yard line.
Watch the patience by Thomas. He wants to throw it right there, and he pulls back, buys a little bit more time, and then throws it up in the air.
And now LaMichael steps in for the tying touchdown. It did not take the Ducks long. These 2 teams, folks, combined have put up 90 points a game. We are just underway with 14 and 9:41 to go here in the first quarter.
How about LaMichael James getting his first touchdown in a BCS bowl game? He's played against Ohio State, Auburn last year, and now against Wisconsin.
And of course that formation for the extra point, they show it too, and then they'll shift back out of it. So Tuine has been their go-to guy all season long. 40 catches for 441 yards. He sets up the touchdown. And LaMichael James, one of the best running backs in the country, picks up 6. And for the second time here today, the Ducks will kick it away. Rob Beard is the kickoff man. Abbrederis, James White back deep for the Badgers. Trying to get it to Abbrederis at the first. Slips a little bit, regains his balance, and out to about the 21-yard line. Let's check this. There's a penalty flag, I think. Was it thrown late, Herbie, or not?
Brent, we talked about the quarterbacks having to make big plays in the pass game. Here, how about the patience we talked about of DeAnthony Thomas waiting initially, then settling back and throwing it downfield to 2-8, bought just enough time there and makes a big play in the pass game.
Yeah, there was no flag thrown on that far side. The ball on that scoring drive of the Badgers carried 4 times for 27 yards. Here's his 5th carry. And he got close to the 25, and John Boyette, the safety, makes his first stop.
This is the last drive, and this is really started by Russell Wilson trying to be able to throw the ball, but really Monte Ball, they pounded the Oregon defense with the running game, and then it's set up with the play action and getting it downfield, getting the one-on-one coverage. Russell Wilson very comfortable, whether it's in the pocket or outside, with his accuracy.
2nd down and 7.
Wisconsin move there on the
Quick
left side.
slant.
Prior to the snap. False start. Offense, number 48. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Look at the time that they took. Over an extra minute for the Badgers, and the Ducks have got their defense right back on the field. Draw play, Monte Ball breaks the daylight for a first down. Russell Wilson with a brush block. Ball still on his feet. And across the 40-yard line with the day's best run here in the early going.
Boy, this offensive line doing some great things up front with some seal blocks. And again, with these kind of backs, they're going to run through arm tackles. 2 arm tackles he's able to get through. Look at that stiff arm. And it's so impressive to see Monte Ball, who lost 20 pounds and wanted to get faster, but he did not lose his upper body strength and his lower body strength. And if you do not get in front of him and put your shoulders on him, you're not going to bring Monte Ball down. His 2 Oregon defenders learned that on that play.
And after that 42-yard run, Herbie, he comes out, and another good running back, James White. Play action to him. Russell Wilson's got time, steps out to the left. Still looking for a receiver, comes back across the field, and incomplete. He had Tune, and he made sure he was out in front of him so they didn't have a chance to intercept that ball, and it went out of bounds.
But Russell Wilson took a big hit after he threw that ball. It wasn't a flag. I don't think it was late, but it was a very, very big hit on him. The middle linebacker, Kiko Alonso, put on him. As soon as he threw the ball, Alonso lowered the boom on him. But Russell Wilson quick to get up.
Alonso was looking to make sure the yellow hadn't been thrown. You can see that glance could be in that replay. 2nd down and 10. And here's White, the youngster from Florida, and he is upended at the 34-yard line, and this will bring up a 3rd down coming up for the Badgers. From the gun. Covered. Throws back beautifully. To the 5-yard line is Monte Ball, who slipped out of the backfield, was not the primary on the play, and Russell was able to pick him up.
And this is where mobility is something different in the Wisconsin offense. Scott Tolzien was a great quarterback, but he didn't provide this element to this offense. So they can run the football, they can throw, and when things break down, Russell Wilson can buy enough time on a broken play to find Monte Ball to be able to pick up the first down and much more.
30 yards on 3rd and 6. A 1st and goal. Ball cuts back, breaks a tackle. Stuckey with the stop for the Ducks.
Stuckey makes the play, but Brandon Hanna, backup defensive end, in on a goal line situation, actually slowed Monte Ball down.
So in the red zone, no team in the country more efficient overall than the Badgers. They have more touchdowns in the red zone, not just the field goals. That was that percentage that you saw there, but touchdown-wise, they are virtually unstoppable. Play action again. Russell Wilson got open field. He'll walk in.
And Nick Aliotti, he spends so much time because you got to be concerned about Monte Ball. You got to be concerned about the fullback in the flat, the tight end and the flag. Oh, By the way, who's got the quarterback if he takes off and runs? It's just, you can't cover it all, and that's what a mobile quarterback who has poise and can throw provides for this offense.
The extra point is tacked on. Well, I have a moment, Herbie. Our great friend and colleague Keith Jackson's been a little bit under the weather, wasn't able to come to the Hall of Fame luncheon and the banquet the other day, and we want to send along our very best to Keith. He's going to be fine, just a little bit of a setback, and Keith, we wish you nothing but the best here in 2012, and we missed you at the proceedings, my friend. You were missed at that Hall of Fame luncheon. Of course, Keith is a member of the Hall of Fame here in the Rose Bowl. One of the great voices for many, many years. Another friend of ours will be introduced to the crowd here this afternoon. Dick Enberg was inducted at the luncheon, and just like Keith, another very class gentleman. So the Badgers, leading it, will kick it off. It'll be fielded on the 4 by Thomas. First time he's touched the ball. Close to the 30-yard line.
Oregon again trying to emphasize their speed against this Wisconsin defense. Mike Taylor, number 1 in the team in tackles. Chris Borland, number 2. And they want to try to challenge those linebackers in space with Michael James and Kenyon Barner. And if they overcommit, they're going to have to rely on Darren Thomas' ability to throw the football to DeAnthony Thomas and Josh Huff.
Screen pass out to the left. DeAnthony to the 35-yard line. And so, Herbie, it becomes which team is going to punt first? You know, I mentioned the Alamo Bowl, that shootout between Baylor and Washington. I watched that game, and I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it either. I mean, those are two great offenses, but two really, really bad defenses.
Second down and 4. Darren wants to set another screen, and it's incomplete. Now, Michael James, the intended receiver. And a penalty flag. That's a false start, and that'll cost him. That'll make this third down a lot more difficult, won't it?
5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
3rd and 9. Darren will take off. Runs into his own man, and he is down short of the first down. Bo Allen, credit for the stop. Bo comes up with a big play, and the Ducks are the first team to punt.
It is big. We said it was a big third down. The false start did not help Oregon's cause. There just isn't anybody open downfield. I think Darren Thomas started to think he might be able to pick it up, but Wisconsin's front 4 does a good job of collapsing on him and not allowing him to make the yards for that first down.
Aberderis very dangerous. Jackson Rice, the punter for the Ducks. Aberderis from the 26-yard line. Breaks a tackle. And again to the 41-yard line. And now we see that Ekpreolamu, the freshman from Chino Hills, California, back on the corner. Terrence Mitchell, a redshirt freshman from Sacramento, is on the other corner. So Ekpreolamu was burned early, replaced last drive. James White on a play action. They're going to throw on first down. Russell sacked for the first time. The 34-yard line. The Ducks were able to get to number 16.
And it's great coverage downfield. You know, these corners, these young corners have had to really grow up in the second half of the season. They played some really prolific passing offenses in the Pac-12, and there are times they've held up and times they've been exposed. Early in this game, they've lost some one-on-one matchups, but Nick Aliotti and Chip Kelley, they're going to continue to have to believe in them because, again, these guys are freshmen, but they played a lot of football. We'll see how they hold up against Aberderis and Nick Toon in one-on-one coverage.
Now in 2nd and 17, they go back to the gun. Throwing Aberderis, the intended receiver, and he was well covered by Ekpreolamu that time. We talked about the freshman. Aberderis got him earlier, but not this time.
Ekpreolamu has got to be able to run stride for stride against an outstanding route runner in Aberderis. Aberderis has had some games this year where he has been a difference maker for Russell Wilson.
Band members trying to stay cool. 82 degrees. Monte Ball back in. 3rd and a bunch. And a movement on the left side of the line by Ricky Wagner. Picked up his stance.
Start. Offense, number 58. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
A series to forget for the Badgers. Fires. Incomplete.
Pass interference. Defense number 20. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first
John
down.
Boyette incurs the wrath of the official on that 3rd and 22.
Come to the defense of John Boyette. Boyette didn't even touch anybody there. Terrence Mitchell lined up 27 there on Nick Toon, perhaps right there. Boyette did not even come close to touching anybody. So Mitchell there definitely is involved in the interference.
So on first down, they come back with White, and White hammers across midfield. Let me tell you right now, the numbers are not the easiest to see.
I'm with you.
I'm gonna offer them a little apology down there because I'm standing up here, and they
between the helmets and the jerseys, forget about it. If
now
they get half of them right,
the camera folks, you folks home say, "What are they gone blind?" And you can see the camera picks it up much better than we do with the naked eye. You're gonna have to trust me. That's all. You're gonna have to trust me.
Throw the reflection in there off the helmet.
2nd down and 2 after the White run. Badly for the first down. Ducks trying to prevent it and could not.
The tough thing about facing this offense, and we should mention Paul Christ as an offensive coordinator for Wisconsin is one of the top in the country. There he is. He took the head job at Pitt. He's tried to balance. One of these coordinators is trying to balance out. After this game, he's the head coach at Pitt, and also at the same time showing respect to get Wisconsin and Russell Wilson ready to win this game. Up to this point, he has really done an outstanding job of prepping this offense and getting them ready to attack this defense.
And it is White picking up the heavy load on this series. Or if it's not Ball, it's White. Michael Clay with the stop for Oregon.
And I guess my point about Paul Christ's system is when you have to face a balanced attack and they can be physical and they can run with those big linemen. And this year, because of Russell Wilson, not only can they play action you like they would do last year with Scott Tolzien, but they can roll out. They can run bootlegs and nakeds. He can create. It just puts there's a lot on the defense to try to deal with. Even though it's not a spread attack, they still are very, very versatile.
Brady Ewing and Monte Ball back in that backfield. And it'll be Ball, slips a tackle, and stopped at the Oregon 40-yard line, and that's going to bring up another 3rd down, and Boyette up to make the stop. They're going to stick with the run, and the Ducks were not fooled. They stopped Ball. Monte Ball stopped on 3rd down that time.
This is a textbook tackle here by Michael Clay, the linebacker. Watch him fill this hole and put Monte Ball on his back and push him the other way. Outstanding technique, wraps him up, hits him low, respects his power, and brings him down. Big time play.
Brad Nortman, his 198th punt for the Badgers, all 4 years. Stopped inside the 5-yard line, or right at, let's see where they finally spotted the side judge down there. It looks like right at the 5-yard line. Michigan trying to go 2-0 in their bowl games. There's Kenyon Barner now in the game for the Ducks, getting his first carry, and he's out of bounds on that far side.
Oregon not afraid to be aggressive when they get pinned down. You and I have called enough Ducks games to realize that if they see something that they can try to be aggressive, and they're not going to pull their horns in here and just say, oh, let's be careful. They'll continue to run their offense even though they're pinned back deep.
And exploding into the middle is DeAnthony Thomas. Can't catch him. Touchdown, Oregon. His nickname is Black Mamba. And he has struck for 91 yards. World-class speed out of Crenshaw High School right here in Los Angeles. So as the first quarter comes to an end, an electrifying run by DeAnthony Thomas. Henry in a foot race. Too much speed. 3 Hall of Famers moments ago, and what a class gentleman. Senator George Fleming, who was a running back, kicker, kick returner, punt returner, defensive safety for the Washington Huskies, 22 years as a state legislator. The great Dick Enberg, of course, he broke in here in Los Angeles, radio and TV voice of the California Angels, and the legendary Ron Dane, running back of Wisconsin, 2 times the MVP of the Rose Bowl game. So there is your brand new class. George Fleming, Dick Enberg, and Ron Dane. So DeAnthony Thomas goes into the record book with the longest run from scrimmage. And it is fielded on the 6 by Abrederis. Abrederis to the 37-yard line.
This is what Wisconsin's defense has got to be concerned. Again, look at the option look. And look at the linebackers, how they flow out. They're following Darren Thomas and Kenyon Barner. And on the backside, you got to be careful when they sneak in a back like DeAnthony Thomas. They hand off the ball. The linebackers get out of position. It makes it easy for Carson York and the linemen to be able to get the blocking angles. And DeAnthony Thomas sets a new Rose Bowl record with 91 yards and could potentially change the momentum of this football game depending on what happens on this series.
And we're back with the running game on first down. Monte Ball and the Ducks and Aliotti a little more aggressive up front.
Brent, I think they're more aggressive, maybe settling into the game, but still taking the chance by attacking that line of scrimmage. The answer from Wisconsin is 1st and 10, play action, rolling Russell Wilson out and still trying to attack that young secondary on early downs.
3 wide here on 2nd and 9. Complete. Short of the first down is Nick Toon. He's to the 44-yard line of the Badgers, and that will bring up one of the things that the Ducks are doing right now is they're keeping the Badgers in 3rd down.
Well, they blitzed that time Josh Cadu, who was lined up there. Pretty good effort by Nick Toon. Lost control of the ball. Still was able to hold on to that.
And they're going to play action out of it. A beautiful call, and Pedersen, the tight end, crosses the 40 to the 38-yard line.
Well, of course, they're anticipating with the jumbo package, they're going to try to just churn up some yards. But I love the aggressive nature by Paul Chryst. Shows play action. Monte Ball consumes most of the defense, and Pedersen, a great receiving tight end, gets just enough of an edge off Dion Jordan, who slipped at the line of scrimmage trying to stay with him. Made it pretty easy that time for Wilson.
17 yards on 3rd and 1, and now they come back with that running play to the 34-yard line. And that's a better first down run than they've had in the last couple of series. Stuckey making the stop.
Nice balanced attack here by Wilson and the Badgers. I love how calm Russell Wilson is. I just love his demeanor.
Isn't he calm, though?
I mean, he played in minor league baseball, drafted in the 4th round by the Rockies. Just has a certain demeanor about him, a certain awareness about him that I think this team really has fed off of this year.
He was fabulous at the luncheon yesterday. He interviewed a couple of his teammates, and he did such a good job. 2nd down. Wilson drops it off, wide open in underneath. And that's Toon again, and it's hard to believe that he was that wide open, and they've got a first down at the 16-yard line.
Well, Kiko Alonso, I think this time broke coverage. He comes up through there blitzing, and I think he probably should have been able to sit back there. He was hesitant. That's the only reason I question if he should have been able to come through. Left it wide open underneath for Nick Toon with Alonso coming there. And again, Russell Wilson with the vision downfield finds his open man for that easy first down.
Back in the red zone, where the Badgers have been lethal this year. Rolling, still to the right. He'll hoof it out of bounds, and be careful over there.
After the play, personal foul, late head out of bounds, number 20, defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
That's John Boyette, and this time was he mixed up in it, Herbie?
Yeah, Boyette was up there. You had Tony Jackson also involved. He's clearly out of bounds. Cannot lower your head on especially a quarterback when he's 3 yards out of bounds. Easy call for the officials, but they had the play covered. It was a great job by Oregon's defense on a rollout. They had everything covered, and the mobility again is a difference there by Russell Wilson to keep that play alive.
Ball twists his way to the 4-yard line. Brian Wozniak, a sophomore tight end from Ohio, has checked in. Touchdown, Monte Ball again. That is his second. And that should give him the record. If I recall, that was his first ties the record. Okay. So it ties the record of Barry Sanders.
The coach said you took an extra half a second. They like that. They like that patience back there. Let the play develop.
And the extra point is added by Phillip Wells. The Badgers in their white jerseys are completely in the shade on their sideline. Swing across right now to the darker jerseys, and the Ducks for the time being remain in the California sunshine. Back from the end zone is that man again, DeAnthony Thomas. Left side, shakes a tackle out near midfield. And there is Monte Ball thanking the big fellas up front. Kenyon Barner is now in as running back after that 46-yard return. Darren Thomas going to go deep, got a man open on that far side. And just like that, Kenyon Barner scores on a 54-yard pass from Darren Thomas. That's the good news for the Ducks. The bad news is defense, get ready.
Brent, catch your breath and get your oxygen tank. It's going to be a long game here. How about this? Kenyon Barner out of the backfield, sliding him out, and it's just an attacking mindset. Darren Thomas shows the patience to let the play develop. Barner was wide open from the time he left the backfield. He let him get about 20 yards downfield until he just feathered that ball down in there.
Maldonado tacks it on. 42 points so far in the first half. 21-21. Big Ten, Pac-12, Wisconsin, Oregon. 98th Rose Bowl from Pasadena, California. And that was a story on the last series as the Badgers did not come away with points after they were into the red zone. And again, Darren Thomas to Huff on that first down pass. And so Thomas starting to loosen up a little bit here, Herbie, with the pass.
Aaron Andrews telling us during one of the breaks that Chip Kelley really challenging Oregon, that got to really create some tempo here. Let's try to get Wisconsin. They're reeling a bit. Let's try to go after them while they're on their heels.
Thomas fires high and incomplete. The Badgers are, I should say the Ducks are 1 of 2. 1 of 2 with third down. And now they are 2 of 3 on that first down pass to the 35-yard line. DeAnthony Thomas, and he was hit by Cromartie, Marcus Cromartie.
Huge cushion off to the left-hand side here. Look how deep the safety is in this case. He's way back, respecting the speed of Oregon, but it's third down. It made an easy throw that time for Thomas.
Now off a play action, almost intercepted. Huff was the intended receiver, and he's down, folks. Slow to get up, bounces back now.
Darren Thomas.
No, wait a minute.
Yeah, all right.
Sophomore from Houston. Number 1 going down, and watch the defensive back come up on him. Up high, Aaron Henry with a collision that has Huff on the sideline, and the Ducks come back with a running play to the 40-yard line. That was a second down. The Ducks spread the field. Hit. Fumble. Picked up on the bounce. Touchdown. Nzegwu. Louis Nzegwu from Platteville, Wisconsin.
Mike Taylor comes free. Confusion up front. Good job of disguising it. The question is his arm coming forward before the ball came out? I'm sure the officials will take another look at this. It's such a big play, but Taylor comes free, and I don't think DeAnthony Thomas felt him at all.
I'm not sure that he was coming forward, Herbie.
It's all about where the football is.
There's a touchdown call. There was no question.
Right, but they make it quickly.
And the extra point is tacked on. DeAnthony Thomas. So Huff remains out of this game after that blistering hit that he took. And here is Thomas coming out from the 5, 10. And Thomas slammed down at the 12-yard line.
See that Borland's walked up at middle linebacker. I think there's some confusion on the left side of the Oregon offensive line. By walking up Borland, I think there's some confusion on this side because eventually Taylor comes free. Watch Weems, the left tackle, go to the outside. He picks up his man, but to the inside you have two Oregon offensive linemen blocking one man. The linebacker comes free. Confusion on the left side creates the turnover.
And the Ducks come back with Michael James battling his way 30-35. And Taylor on the play again.
Taylor and Borland will not give up on a play, and that was a good effort to get downfield. But again, the issue and the challenge for Taylor and Borland against this speed is how will they play out in space, trying to slow down LaMichael James and Kenyon Barner.
Darren Thomas. Paulson, the tight end, makes his first catch of the game. That's David Paulson, the senior from Auburn, Washington.
Everything comes off the play action in the passing game. Freeze the linebackers, make them have to respect the speed of Barner, and then quickly get the ball out to Paulson, a veteran who's got sure hands and picks up big yards.
249, 247. That's an eternity for the Ducks. Down by 7. Come right on back with a running play. Gaining a yard or so. That was Barner, who had checked back in, of course. He scored a touchdown on a reception. So already, Herbie, we've had the most points in the first half of a Rose Bowl game. 49. Previous record, the Badgers were involved in that. 24-21 over UCLA back in '99. Michael James gets the call. Tries to get that left edge. Fake to Barner. Throw. Complete to the 16-yard line. 2-and-A.
Here it is again. Linebackers have to come up and respect this running game. They come up and realize, okay, now I got to get back in coverage. It's a good throw that time. Two receivers crossing. He makes a quick throw and a quick decision that time to get it to 2-and-A.
Here comes the jet sweep, and they're going to throw off of it. They're going to throw back with Bennett, the backup quarterback. They worked on this all week to Darren Thomas. And Darren Thomas is across the 10-yard line. Brian Bennett slipped into the game. He's a redshirt freshman from Encino, California.
And watching Bennett all week, you know, there are opportunities for trick plays, and Bennett doesn't get a lot of chances unless Darren Thomas goes down with an injury. He was so excited to throw that, jumping up and down, hoping that Thomas would find the end zone.
Second down and 2. Here's Barner. Kenyon picks up the first down. It'll be first and goal. Taylor in on still another stop.
Take the football, so Oregon will get the ball to start the second half.
That's Barner coming to the backfield, and there's a penalty flag false start. That'll cost him 5.
False start. Offense, number 61. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Handoff and nothing doing. LaMichael could not find a big enough hole.
Most offenses are panicking and thinking about their timeouts. Oregon just kind of letting that clock work down.
Darren keeps it himself, and he's a couple yards shy, and now they'll burn one. 3rd and goal coming up.
Remember
Oregon.
the USC game
That's
that
their
you and I
first
had
timeout
towards the end, and
30-second timeout.
yeah, the Oregon offense kind of just taking their time and not necessarily using their timeouts and just kind of easing their way down, and it ended up backfiring them in that case.
I was asked about that, and I said, well, they don't have a lot of experience in close games coming down the stretch. You can get a little upset with the coach about time management, but they haven't gone through this very often.
No, they're used to always being up and just putting the kind of the foot on the accelerator. This is an interesting game because it's taking Oregon out of their comfort zone and making them have to continue to attack, and I think it affects their defense and their offense. Give Wisconsin a lot of credit. They came into this game, everybody talking about how would Wisconsin's defense handle the heat. How would Wisconsin deal with the month layoff and dealing with the speed of Oregon? In the first half, we've seen some big plays, but they're playing very well.
Let me add one thing. Except for 2 completed passes, the Badgers may be waiting for us in New Orleans.
Yeah.
That Hail Mary against Michigan State, and then your alma mater, Ohio State. Those 2 plays are preventing the Badgers from playing for the title. 3rd down and goal. And it'll be Darren Thomas firing to the end zone. Touchdown, 2-A. Waited for the headlinesman. He was very patient with the call, making sure that 2-A had possession in his judgment.
Matched up with Marcus Cromartie, who's a physical corner. To timing, a little inside and back to the outside. See, make sure that he holds on to the football. Great view of it right here. Has the ball ever touched the surface? What's tough to see there.
And they will take a look at that. You couldn't ask for a better view of a touchdown on a reverse angle right here. That, of course, from behind. And then it is knocked free. Here's your reverse angle. Watching. Look at the headlinesman. Watching every step of the way. Arms still not up in the air, signaling touchdown. Then it was knocked out on the roll.
Well, that drive took an eternity, 2 minutes and 56 seconds.
So this is the 4th time, if we make this extra point here, that we will have been tied. And Maldonado makes it a 28-all, and this could be a long afternoon for the Duck with those push-ups after each Oregon score.
That was 10 plays and 87 yards, as I said, 2 minutes, 56 seconds. Really nice job of mixing up the play calling, some perimeter running game, play action to challenge those linebackers and their eye discipline, a little razzle-dazzle with a backup quarterback sneaking in and throwing the ball back to Thomas. And then eventually a little play action again and finding 2-A ball thrown low and away where 2-A can get his hands on the ball and secure it for the touchdown.
What a first half. We've had the longest run from scrimmage by DeAnthony Thomas. We've had Monte Ball tie Barry Sanders with that 1 touchdown that he pounded in. We've had a record number of points scored in the first half of a Rose Bowl. It is just absolutely remarkable what's occurring here this afternoon in Pasadena. And this is just the beginning, folks. It's a good doubleheader today. I want to tell you that second game between Oklahoma State and Stanford, that too is going to be a good football game down in the desert.
It'll be a great game. And just seeing Andrew Luck playing his last game, his offense is healthy, and Brandon Whedon and Justin Blackman and so many playmakers from Oklahoma State. That one could be a shootout, and much like this.
You know, I know we have talked about Baylor and Washington, but we may be giving new meaning for Remember the Alamo right here. Thank you, George Hill. Here's the low bouncing kickoff fielded on the 11. Abradaris now to the 34-yard line.
Wisconsin 3 timeouts, looking to try to get a field goal here before the half.
And they hit Toon to start the series, Herbie. He'll be and he's out of bounds. Boyette.
Look at the game clock is moving. I think Wisconsin thought that he got out of bounds.
I thought he got out of bounds.
Yeah.
Now they burn a timeout, and
30-second
Beelman's
timeout.
going to ask.
Yeah, he thought Nick Toon was way out of bounds. Why'd the clock keep moving? I mean, am I missing
Clearly
something?
out of bounds.
He's out of bounds. And shouldn't there be about
You got to stop the clock right
20,
there. And
23 or
now they're
40?
going to come over and explain to Coach Beelman, the referee.
The official up here with us saying that because he was knocked backwards and out of bounds, that's why they did not stop the clock.
Nice of the ACC because they're right on top of it, and that's exactly why they didn't stop it. Draw play. And they'll be content to go in with the tie. The most points ever in the first half of a Rose Bowl game. 56. Deadlocked at 28. And Herbie, let's take a look at our coaching adjustments brought to you by Home Depot.
Well, let's start with Oregon and Wisconsin's defense. Their eyes have been locked in on LaMichael James. And one of the things that Oregon's tried to take advantage of is play action and trying to maybe use LaMichael James as a decoy. Or Kenyon Barner here. They got it to DeAnthony Thomas on a run. Here, a play action. Again, they're locked in on the backfield of Darren Thomas and LaMichael James. This time they get it downfield to Kenyon Barner. And on the other side of the football, one of the things that you see is Darren Thomas' ability to make plays by attacking Russell Wilson's defense and the Badgers' defense.
Fielded at the 5-yard line. And DeAnthony stopped at the 22-yard line, and that was Chris Borland, the starting linebacker, who cleaned up
I
on
had a
it.
chance to talk to Chip Kelley coming out of the half. He did tell me Josh Huff is good to go after having his bell rung in the first half of this game. Also interesting, in talking to assistant coach John Neal, works with the secondary, he said it's gone the way he thought it would go. He said this Badgers team playing exactly like he studied on film. It's really going to come down to which defense can make the last play.
So Aaron, the entire field now is in the shadows as night will begin to send, and LaMichael James opens up here before Cromartie can get him out of bounds. LaMichael on a slant, slips free of Taylor for a first down. Young man who probably has a future as a third down back in the National Football League, LaMichael James, and he's going to surprise the big fellas with his strength on third down.
Exactly right. He's got great hands to catch the ball to the backfield, strong lower body, can get through tackles as he did there.
And that's DeAnthony coming around, got the handoff on that jet sweep, looking for that sideline, and he's got it again. One man. Henry can't get there. That's his second touchdown. Already he's got the record with a 91-yarder from scrimmage, and now on the jet sweep, a 64-yarder. Honey Badger will be looking for him. Honey Badger don't care.
Oh, man.
I mean, Black Mamba is something.
Trying to make a Heisman campaign already for 2012, looking into next year.
Oh, my.
Can this kid go? You don't want to give him the corner. This just in, coaching adjustment. Don't give Black Mamba the edge.
The Ducks folks have run 32 plays for 35 points. They have 9 minutes and 29 seconds total of possession. We'll field this one at the 4. Gets an alley. Out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
Well, he's been doing this all year for Wisconsin, and just what Russell Wilson needs. Great field position, a nice job by the entire return unit. And I'll tell you, Abradaris, when he gets to the outside, he will surprise you with his quickness.
Monte Ball is the running back. That power look with the two tight ends. And here he comes. Got a hole.
Let's sneak in a highlight of the last touchdown before we get another touchdown. Great run by DeAnthony Thomas. Good job of sealing the edge. But watch LaMichael James, the all-star hotshot tailback. Great effort right there to knock down Marcus Cromartie, to open it up to the outside and give DeAnthony Thomas more room to the sideline to eventually get all the way to the end zone.
Let's see if Paul Christ goes back to the well for the play action on this 2nd and 1, or continues to hammer this time. Little draw play, and ball is cut off. Alioti's defense got to the left side. Ball, middle, over the top to the 13-yard line.
Good old-fashioned Wisconsin football. 3rd and short, the power game. Pull the big guard, Travis Frederick, around, and up and over that time for Monte Ball.
Who does he think he is, Simpson of the Bengals? Whoa. Yeah, whoa, you got to get over that helmet, though, lad.
Yeah. That shiny helmet, got to stay clear of that, boys.
Hello.
Get a little higher.
1st down and 10.
Hello.
We'll check back over the sideline. We got
Timeout.
Brett Bielema.
Wisconsin.
Full sprint
Their
all the way
first
down to
charge,
the
timeout of the
15-yard
half.
line to get his timeout in.
There's a media timeout.
Well, there's a National Historic Landmark, the Gamble House in Pasadena, designed back in 1908 for David and Mary Gamble of the Procter & Gamble Company. The Badgers, after the timeout, with a 1st and 10 just inside the Ducks' 15-yard line. Ball puts his way behind the right side of that huge offensive line. Zeitler and Oglesby.
Things are covered. He can create. So they can do a lot of different things down in this area for a defense to have to deal with.
Russell Wilson did score a touchdown running in the 1st half. But after that, the Ducks a little bit tougher on his running game. And Bell slips. Ball slips at the 12-yard line, and that's going to bring up the 3rd down. And there is Russell back in the gun. Has to throw it away. Nick Toon was double covered. So Philip Welsh, who is 4 of 5 this year, he has had 1 block. Holder is the punter, Brad Nortman. And he tacks on 3. And the return men for the Ducks have moved up to about the 14-yard line now. DeAnthony Thomas, along with Brian Jackson. Remember, Josh Huff took a big blow in the 1st half. Otherwise, he'd have been back here with DeAnthony. Drilling one to DeAnthony. 1 yard. He's on that line. No, they said he downed it in the end zone in time.
It's not the foot, it's the football.
Right. Oh, that's close. The linesman is right there.
Ball has to be all the way across the line. So you see
And it
his
was
foot.
not all the way.
Well, the fans are reacting because of his foot, but again, it's the football coming all the way across the line, which it did not do. Right call on the field.
1st down, the Ducks run game from the 20 is stuffed. And now the Badgers have burned 2 of their 3 timeouts. Not a good idea here. But we've already had a snap and a play after that. So the replay booth is even sending down word that that's not a play they reviewed.
So can he get his timeout back if this is not a play that can be reviewed? If his intent to call the timeout was to have it reviewed, you would think he would get the timeout back. So we need to find out if he gets that timeout back.
So it's a 1st down and 10. But it should be 2nd down as the run was stopped earlier. And Borland makes a stop, unless the whistle blew when Bielema was out on the field. And I think that's what happened down there, is that when Bielman was raising a ruckus, they did get it stopped before that first snap.
Yeah.
And then he was informed that the replay booth can't turn that over. But the timeout will not be given back to Bielma. So he's down to one timeout now. And it is 2nd down and 7. Well, Michael James forced out of bounds at the 25-yard line southward.
I hate to keep beating this point up, but I really wonder if the reaction from the crowd here in the stadium by looking at the replay booth maybe forced his hand a bit to try to get the timeout and try to get the potential review. Maybe the crowd had an impact there on Brett Bielema trying to get that timeout.
I'm assuming that they saw the replay, right?
Absolutely.
They saw it on the big screen. And now trying to set a screen, and there was no screen for the receiver. So here's Rice, and a beautiful high punt. Aberdare still thinks he's got time. From the 27, slips a tackle, cuts to the left, and brought down at the 37-yard line. The Ducks were slowed down as they were coming up to the line of scrimmage, and you know how quickly they like to do things.
Yeah.
Burns a timeout and a little discussion down on the field, but they came back and they couldn't get a first down, and now Bielema's team has got the ball back, and we'll see what they can do with it. Here's Ball. Let me check that. That's James White who had replaced him.
His foot touches the line, but the ball does not cross the line. The entire football has to be across. You can see clearly half the football is, but it's not all the way across. So it's the right call on the field.
We've got an injured Oregon player, and down on the field, Hamuli from Utah was shaken up. So he's receiving attention. He'll come off to the sidelines. You know, everybody wanted to say, oh, these big 300-pound linemen of Wisconsin, they're going to wear down in the heat and everything. Well, there's not a lot of heat right now in the second half of this game. And also the commercial breaks that we have in this game, along with other things. It gives them kind of a chance to catch their breath. And, you know, I know some people that I've heard on TV say that these fellows of the Badgers are all overweight. You know, I've been to practice watching them, and they're in pretty good shape, this bunch.
They are in great shape, and also they're rotating a lot of bodies to try to stay fresh and try to be able to hold up. Samuli right here, right in the middle of that play, and always dangerous when you see linemen roll on top of the back of the leg. Let's hope that he's okay and able to return. But I think the big thing here for Oregon's defense as they continue to try to contain Russell Wilson is when Wisconsin has been able to run up into the teeth of the Oregon defense. That's where they've had a lot of success with that power running game, and that's where they've been able to set up their play action pass off of that.
2nd down and 6. They stick with White. 1st down at midfield.
Coming right off of the football, and it's power against power, and who can create a crease, and it's Wisconsin's offensive line getting the push. Nice combination block. Josh Oglesby, the right tackle, who's battled through 6 knee surgeries. Last year, he was sitting on the sidelines watching this Rose Bowl game, and very painful thing for him. Tonight, he's actually out there playing.
Monte Ball watching from the sidelines, has 146 yards. White 29. Didn't like what he saw with Toon, so Russell Wilson is going to keep it himself and step out of bounds after a couple of yards.
Well, it was a running play, and he wanted to come off of it, abort it, and just throw the football out there to the outside. A little bit of a mix-up. This is something new this week for this game that Russell Wilson has, is the check with me at the line of scrimmage. Here, a little stiff arm for the middle linebacker, Stuckey, but that time not quite on the same page with his wide receivers, and he didn't have anything to do with it, but at least he got a couple yards out of the play.
2nd down and 8. Breaking a tackle is White. Lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage that time. Alonso.
Another big 3rd down for Wisconsin.
Yeah, Lacombo blew the play up. Now Ball is back. Got the snap, pressure. on the move. Gonna keep it. Can he get the first down? Yes.
There's the X factor in this game for Wisconsin's offense. 3rd down and long. You have things covered downfield, and here comes Russell Wilson. Gets to the outside, gets wide of Taylor Hart, and then is able to see his vision. He's downfield. He wants to be able to throw the ball, but once he gets outside of Hart, he has the first down, and a good effort by Pedersen downfield blocking.
Now White checks back in. That was 17 yards on 3rd and 8. And White is stopped at the line by Hart.
Coach is telling us that from the time they played against LSU in Dallas, where they lost a lot of veterans from last year's defense, the player that maybe has improved the most is Taylor Hart. Sophomore, 6'6", 283 pounds, long arms, very, very strong. But the year of experience helped him really to come into his own and take over for Brandon Bear on the inside there. He's had an outstanding year as a first-year starter.
Here comes a blitz by the linebackers. Complete. And that's Ewing's first catch of the game. And well short of a first down.
For years, Wisconsin has had not just one tight end, but a couple of tight ends that can be a threat as a receiver. This year, they just have Jacob Pedersen. How about that quick throw? He hesitated and got it out there, but they don't have the tight end. So Ewing and Monte Ball and James White have had to pick up the slack. That time, this undersized fullback, who's known as a blocker, makes a pretty good catch out there in the right flat.
Here's Wilson firing for the first down into the red zone, and that's Monte Ball slipping out. And Herbie, you said he was a good receiver, and he does a good job.
Yeah, he had 20 receptions coming into the year. He's known as a power runner, but he's out there isolated against Michael Clay. A good move back to the inside, and the ball is thrown down low, where it gives Monte Ball a chance to secure the football and keep it away from Michael Clay. That's a big-time play there for the Badgers to keep this drive alive and get into the red zone.
Going to throw on first down. Corner of the end zone. Tune, the official goes down. Touchdown. Second touchdown pass of the game for Wilson.
Brent, did you see the football halfway in the air by the time Nick Tune turned around to make a play on it? By the time he adjusted the route to the outside, the ball was already delivered by the quarterback, Russell Wilson. Great timing and rhythm that time between Wilson and Nick Tune for the touchdown. Russell Wilson on 1st and 10 keeps the safeties over. He kind of has his eyes off to the left, but still has a chance to be able to deliver that football in the air over top of the linebackers, and before the corner could actually make a play on it, the ball is thrown away from him. Nick Tune secures that for a big touchdown for Wisconsin. See if they can restart the engine to that offense.
It's a wonderful, wonderful scene here in Pasadena. The 98th Rose Bowl. And this one presented by Vizio. Badger faithful here, enjoying this 80-degree weather. And now Bucky joins in.
Gotta get a little deeper on those pushes.
The Duck has had a lot more practice through the years. A for effort. Look at him, Duck. Here we go. There's DeAnthony Thomas, and this time he does not hesitate. He comes out. And he is down at the 24-yard line. LaMichael James, play action. Darren Thomas down the middle of the field. What a great grab. 2-A with a big-time grab at the 40-yard line, and the Ducks are back in business.
Here's the view from our DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. Brent, you hit it. Play action as they've done all night. He patiently waits for 2-A to get down further. That is a great catch by 2-A, and he waited until the last split second to get his hands up so Cromartie couldn't realize the football was coming in to be able to knock it away.
Then they come back with the running play, and LaMichael slips free. Got a first down, spins to the 25-yard line.
He has the acceleration, the lateral quickness, but he also can pull defenders with him. He's not a little back that you're just going to be able to push down with an arm tackle. You better be able to wrap him up if you want to slow down LaMichael James.
Darren Thomas rolling hard to the right, and he is cut down. It's Chris Borland, one of the outstanding linebackers on this Badger team. Borland and Mike Taylor are as good a pair as existed in the Big Ten this year.
Watch Patrick Buttram that time take that play away. He wanted to use a shovel pass and knock it and just throw it underneath, but the recognition by the Wisconsin defense, they took LaMichael James away from him. He didn't have anything to do other than just try to pick up some yards.
2nd and 12. They bring DeAnthony around, looking for the edge. There's a penalty flag.
This is the play they scored a touchdown on. This time Wisconsin's defense said, you're not getting outside.
Holding. Offense, number 60. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Just locks on there to Kelley and takes him down. Put him on defense. It's a pretty good tackle.
So Kenyon Barner comes in on this 2nd and 22 for Oregon. They want to throw that slip screen, 2-A, and the Badgers force him out of bounds on that far side. Aaron Henry, that tough safety there with Shelton Johnson. Here's 3rd down and 18. From the middle, deflected, intercepted. Henry's got it at the 20. A penalty flag down at the 25-yard line. So coming up with it is co-captain Aaron Henry from Florida. And unfortunately, one of the Ducks is down. And that appears to be Carson York. And there's some problems setting in with this offensive line.
Well, Darren Thomas has been high on a number of throws. When he's missed high. The problem is over the middle, when you miss high, balls are deflected and safeties are waiting. This is high and behind DeAnthony Thomas, and Henry is just sitting there in zone. Easy interception, and he gets some yards on the return.
And there's an illegal block right there in the back, so this will cost the Badgers some yardage. However, they will have the football. It's going to be spotted at the 16-yard line. Right now, the Badgers with a 3-point lead and 2:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. And with Kirk Herbstreit and Aaron Andrews, I'm Brent Musburger as you look down at one of the great scenes in all of sport. Pasadena on New Year's Day, or as the case might be this year, on January 2nd. Unfortunately, the offensive lineman Carson York is still down as they're tending to that knee. As you take a look at the comparison, and of course Darren Thomas with that one interception here has given the ball back.
Wisconsin has thrived on turnover margin all year. In fact, they came into this game 4th in the country in turnover margin with their plus 16. They've created the 2 turnovers. They don't have any turnovers at all. And Russell Wilson on the year, only 3 interceptions. It's a big reason why the Badgers have had such a consistent year offensively.
Well, Herbie, this has been just a great season for both of these teams. When we think about both of them, though, how badly they want to win this particular bowl game, simply because the Oregon Ducks beaten for the national championship and lost the Rose Bowl the previous year. Last year, the Badgers lose the Rose Bowl. So both these teams came in here looking for a W.
Yeah, both of them want to have success. It's one thing to have a great regular season, but you want to finish it off by not just getting to a BCS bowl game, but winning it. But Chip Kelley's been a head coach for 3 years in Eugene. Gets to a Rose Bowl, loses to Ohio State. Plays Auburn close, loses a national title. Now here he is again. 3rd straight year they've won a Pac-10/Pac-12 championship. He's back in a great game again in a BCS bowl game. And for Brett Bielema in Wisconsin, boy, I think the greatest thing that happened for them was Russell Wilson deciding to come in after graduating in 3 years in Raleigh at North Carolina State and deciding to play for that man right there. And they've been able to really capitalize on his ability in so many different ways in his leadership. You're right. There's a lot at stake for both these teams.
Well, Russell Wilson on the last drive led the Badgers right down the field. And you can see under pressure was able to step away from it, as Herbie has pointed out all day. That's the extra dimension, that running ability. And he didn't fumble the ball either. And now watch the vision. A little bit of an undersized quarterback. He's up there in the category, though, with Drew Brees, and he finds his throwing alleys.
And when you're undersized, you have to find ways to cheat and take advantage of things. And that is timing. It's rhythm. It's anticipation. And, again, Carson York's still down with the stretcher now, looking to take him off the field. But he brings all of that. And I know he's undersized, but he is a game.
So a nice round of applause for York as he is carted off the field, and his workday appears to be over. And let's hope that he's going to be okay. He's a fine young man. You know, there's another young man on that offensive line, Mark Asper out of Idaho Falls, Idaho, number 79. And as York waves to the crowd, but Asper, the other night, you probably read the story about the Heimlich maneuver at the Beef Bowl at Lowry's. Father of a student at Oregon was choking a bit when he got over on him. And Heimlich had been a Eagle Scout at Idaho Falls, so he knew exactly what to do. And he wants to get the ball back now from these Badgers, and here we go. A collision, that ball comes off of.
You better bring your shoulders and wrap your arms if you want to be able to slow him down and tackle him. He not only takes on the hit, but he's able to survive it and then go down the sidelines and pick up more yards for a first down.
Night beginning to descend in Southern California. Tripped up that time and can't quite get to the 30-yard line. Michael Clay with the
young running backs, whether you're in high school or a freshman and you get discouraged, you should study Monte Ball. Monte Ball last year got beat out by a true freshman to be the backup to John Clay. Instead of complaining or quitting, he just kept working. Ended up having a great second half last year, replacing Clay along with White as a combination. And this year he loses 20 pounds and becomes the featured back. Has a big heart and runs with tremendous effort every single time he touches that football.
159 yards he's gained on the ground here today. He's also caught 3 passes for 44 more. Here he comes again. And he is stopped by Alonso. Kiko Alonso, for the season, a little bit in the doghouse with Coach Kelley and the Ducks, but it is clear that he possesses great linebacking skill. He's made some plays here today. The line of scrimmage is going to be at about the 33, 34-yard line for Chip Kelley. You have to admire Chip for running his best defensive back off the team when he didn't like his behavior several times over. Cliff Harris long gone. And a big-time player. 3rd down and 3. Russell Wilson fires and intercepted. A diving interception by that man Alonso, who we have talked about. Kiko Alonso from Los Gatos, California.
Brent, I was looking at Alonso and the cushion he was giving Pedersen on 3rd down there and thinking, boy, he's giving him a pretty big cushion here. And I wonder if Russell Wilson's going to go to him. Look at that cushion. But this is almost, again, like backyard football where you bait the guy to throw the ball, but you know exactly what you're doing because you're anticipating that he might make that throw, and he jumped that throw before Russell Wilson got rid of it.
And now the Ducks jump right to it. Here's LaMichael James on the carry. The Ducks not wanting to let instant replay get a second look on that.
What an athlete.
Here's Thomas now. And LaMichael breaks free. Now LaMichael James starting to pound away.
And he's feeling it. How about the vision here? Play's designed to go left. He puts his foot in the ground, cuts it back to the right. Borland does not have the lateral quickness to stay up with LaMichael James.
They'll pick it up now as they approach the end zone. This from the 22. LaMichael, nothing doing. Made the most of. Ball came free. But I believe the Ducks, I believe that was Paulson who picked it up. I don't know if his knee was on the ground.
That's the end of the 4th quarter.
Yeah, Brett, it sounded like we may have had a whistle there. I mean, Oregon ends up recovering anyway, but
that was a fumble, but it was recovered by Paulson. Then it was the Ducks' turn to throw their hands in the air. The Isley Brothers classic shout. The players down on the field, folks, have all stopped to look at the fans in the stands. Kenyon Barner in as the running back for the Ducks. Incomplete, through a little bit high. Huff back on the field. That's nice to see. He was shaken up. This is 3rd and 9. Coming into the Badger fans' part of the field. Throws in underneath. DeAnthony breaks free, steps out, first down.
They had a chance. It would have been a tough play to make for Desmond Southward, but he was there with a chance. Again, can Wisconsin make plays in space? That was a question and kind of a theme to this game. Southwood was there. It's a tough ask. That time, DeAnthony Thomas pulled away from him for the first.
Jet fake. Darren keeps it. Fires in zone. Caught. Touchdown. 2-A again. DeAnthony with 2 touchdown catches. Russell Wilson says, well, it'll be our turn now.
That time, Darren Thomas rolling to the short side.
42-38. Oregon. 80 points. 918 yards of offense. The biggest lead, 7 points. And the Ducks hope to go past that now, up by 4, and the football back on the 10. And LaMichael for 4 yards before he's brought down by Borland.
Ducks have had just so many big plays, and Wisconsin's defense trying to keep them deep in this territory.
They fake the screen and come downfield. 2-A again. Midfield. They set 3 receivers to the right and faked the screen, and 2-A went downfield.
Well, this is a bread and butter play. If you're an Oregon Ducks fan, you've seen this a lot, where they just show that kind of a decoy, where they show that screen and then get it downfield to a receiver. This time it's 2-A, who was the inside receiver. Nobody picked him up because they were so concerned about that quick throw to the outside.
That's 150 yards for 2-A after that 41-yarder. Now the first down at the 45-yard line. Coming back with a run play, and it picks up 6, LaMichael James.
Remember the game you and I called last year in the national championship against Auburn? 2-A had a pretty good game. You expected a lot from Jeff Mail, but 2-A ends up having a pretty good day catching the football when Darren Thomas had to throw against Auburn because they couldn't run the ball.
Second down. Darren Thomas looking downfield. Incomplete. Huff, the intended receiver.
Well, Huff was there, and again, Darren Thomas made pretty good decisions for the most part. We've talked about how he's been a little bit errant on some of his throws, but this time he buys enough time there and finds Huff, who's able to pull away from the defender. He's just got to be able to squeeze that.
Scott Frost, the wide receiver coach in the background, one-time Nebraska quarterback, done a great job with these receivers through the years. There's the handoff to Barner. Barner got the first down. And we see that Tony Dungy's son, Eric Dungy, had been out on the field as they've got the first down. There is the young man, Tony Dungy's son. First down from the 34. And LaMichael at the line of scrimmage is brought down. Let me check that. That's Barner. But second down and 10. Play action. Down the sideline. Complete. DeAnthony Thomas at the 7-yard line. There is a penalty flag, however.
Holding. Offense number 74. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
That's Darian Weems back on the field. He's lost his guard, Carson York.
He's isolated one-on-one against Tyler Dipple and just locks him up around the neck. I mean, that is an easy call right in front of the referee, and a no-no by Weems. Weems has sat out a series or 2, and they put Ryan Clanton in there, but I would assume with York out, just for continuity purposes and communication, they'd rather have the veteran Weems back in the lineup. But that time, makes a big mistake.
Greg, and there's movement down in there by the guard. So there's the young man who replaced Carson York,
Offense.
and that's a
Number
false
63.
start.
5-yard penalty. Second
Monte
down.
Greg.
Greg just moves. Lack of mental awareness there. Back-to-back plays. The Ducks have gone in the wrong direction.
Second and 25. And they come back attacking with the running play, and Barner still on the field.
Well, that play right there gives Darren Thomas a chance here. With the way this game has gone and with the concerns they've had over the year with their field goal kicking, you wonder if this is still, depending on where they get, potentially 4-down territory for Chip Kelley.
Darren going to throw it. Come in underneath and try to pick it up with DeAnthony Thomas, who's down at the 30-yard line. And now this will bring up the 4th down. Mike Taylor makes the stop, and here comes the decision.
A 47-yard field goal from there.
They're going to go.
Gonna go.
Got what he wants. 4th down. Darren Thomas throws in underneath, and they've got the 1st down. 2-A comes back and makes still another catch.
They brought pressure up the middle. Oregon picks it up and gives Darren Thomas just enough time this time to be able to make the throw on 4th down, and 2-A again comes up big for this Ducks offense.
2-A now with 158 yards on his 8 catches. LaMichael James checks back into the backfield. And he'll get this carry. And he is stopped as he came across the 20-yard line. Now Barner back in. His turn up the middle. And this becomes 3rd and manageable. And you know now he's certainly in 4-down territory down here, up by 4.
Ducks have had this drive now going on 11 plays, 74 yards, over 5 minutes.
And they've come to another 4th down.
Chip's going to let the play clock go down here. Get the timeout and maybe bring out the kicker, try to get it to be a 7-point game.
His holder is Jackson Rice. Jackson Rice, a very good quarterback as a holder. He's the young man who signals whether they're going to go for 2 or 1 on the extra point. This would be a 30-yarder. And it would put the Ducks up by 7. Got it.
That's big for Maldonado. Big. Always heard about it from the time he missed the USC field goal is Oregon can't kick, and that time he steps up big with the Rose Bowl on the line. This drive was started way back deep in their own territory where Wisconsin bit on that quick throw to the outside. Bit up on it, opened it up for a big throw to 2-A downfield. And let's not forget that 4th down. Wisconsin brings pressure. He senses it, feels it, makes it just a little step off to the right there to buy a little time. Makes the throw again over to 2-A for that 1st down to keep that drive alive and keep moving him closer and closer for a potential field goal.
You know, it's interesting, Chip Kelley. Sound football is to kick the field goal, make it 7. That's Vince Lombardi would have done that. But you know what he was thinking in the back of his mind? I just made the last 4th down. It's killing me. Why couldn't I got to go again? You know, and he kept thinking about it. He talked to the official, talked to the timeout. Let's get the kicking team out.
You know, he ended up going for it on 4th down coming into tonight 30 times on the year. I mean, it's kind of in his MO to go for it on 4th.
Abadaris. 20 comes wide right. The 30-yard line.
We saw Kiko Alonso make this play, which was big, and getting the ball back to the Ducks. But how about the athletic ability? 3rd down, he gives Pedersen a cushion and then lays out in front of him, jumps the route, and comes up with a big turnover to give the ball back to the Ducks. Pretty good game for Kiko Alonso.
A wonderful game, especially that big interception. Monte Ball with 161 yards in as the running back. And he's thrown back. He's going to give a yard or two back on that tackle by Clay.
We've talked a lot about Alonso, but Michael Clay, who is really the glue of this defense, taking over for Casey Matthews with the leadership that comes off of the potential block by Jacob Pedersen, fights through that, and still makes a play on one of the more physical running backs that he's faced all year. Tremendous effort that time by Oregon's defense.
From the gun. And Toon makes the catch at the 33-yard line. He dearly would love to get number 40 here and bring the Badgers back into a tie. On this 3rd and 6. Wilson in trouble, gets it off. Toon reaches and got the first down.
Here's our view from the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. Good job of looking off to the left, and as a last resort, Brent, he finds Nick Toon. I mean, he was clearly going to his left. Look at his eyes. He comes all the way back to the right, almost as a check down, and finds Nick Toon. And how about the effort by Toon to extend the ball and get that first down?
Here comes Ball into the middle. Play action. Got a man open. Aberderis, 30. Fumble. The Ducks pounce on it. Aberderis lost the ball on that sideline if he wasn't already down. Down around the 30-yard line. Let's take a big look at this.
He knocks the football loose. The ball somehow stays in bounds. It never comes close to going to the boundary. Ball's out.
Great play by Mitchell to knock it free.
It looks like Chip Kelley jumping up there. I thought he was going to try to recover it.
Michael Clay got over there in the middle of it, and he comes up with the football. Now watch from behind. The ball is free. Now watch Clay
right
go
there.
diving.
Clay got it. Mitchell knocks it away after he was beaten badly by Aberderis to get open, but good job of knocking the ball loose. How about the ball? The momentum is going towards it's going to go out of bounds, and it just sits there like your wedge. It just pulled right back.
You said it earlier to me during commercial. You said this game's going to revolve around a turnover
One mistake late.
And you know what?
There it is.
This could be it.
That could be it.
The only thing is, folks, remember this. Ball control is not a Duck strength.
That last drive they had took forever. It was 5 minutes. I mean, that's it.
That might be their longest of the season.
Exactly.
On the field stands. First down,
Oregon brought pressure, and Aberderis took advantage of the one-on-one matchup, but give Mitchell credit for knocking that football loose.
You almost say something about this officiating crew from the ACC. Brad Allen's our referee, and up here in the booth with us, Tom Zamorsky, and we've got the replay booth. These guys have done a real good job here today. First down and 10. Inside to LaMichael James, and James is to the 33-yard line, and now Chip Kelley will try to chip away at that clock.
This is the route before where he was able to look how he turns Mitchell around completely. Just a great job. He's wide open, well executed. He just doesn't hold on to the football. This is Oregon's version now of working the clock. They still go to the hurry up, but now they just sit there and look over to Chip Kelley and let the play clock work down. They've got to attack this Oregon offense, and now we look back at that timeout that Brett Bielema used, and of course now they're only left with one here late in the game.
That ball came free, but he was down. He recovered it. And he battles for the first down. What is that, Herbie? 95 years?
Yeah.
I did not do that game.
You did not. You did not.
So there is the team back in 1917. That's the uniforms have come a long ways, haven't they, folks? First down and 10.
Use their last timeout.
Timeout. Wisconsin. That's their third and final charge timeout of the
Associate
half.
Director Bonnie Riley, the Technical Director John Zippy, the East Raider Bob Salmi, Paul Krugman, and all of our gang, including Associate Producer Brian Boyle. So thanks to everybody.
Third down, obviously. Clock out of timeouts, clock moving.
Here comes a Michael, and he's not going to get it. Stays in bounds, goes down. Desegwu scored a touchdown, defensive touchdown for the Badgers, making the play over there. This is where not having a timeout really hurts as you watch those seconds start to tick off that clock right now. You got it down to 23 seconds.
Yeah, and like I said, if you include the potential punt and the return, unless they get a fair catch called, it's going to be 15 to 18 seconds.
Because this was the moment in time that Herbie and I have talked about. Now, this is where DeAnthony hesitated. The fans and the coaches thought maybe he should have been ruled out, but the entire football is not out of the end zone. So that line judge watching there made the good call, and then Brett burns a timeout to try and talk to them.
And the crowd saw the replay on the jumbo screen and saw his foot touch the line and reacted. And Brett Bielema ended up calling a timeout.
So here's Abrederis. Makes a fair catch. And look who's down on top of him. DeAnthony Thomas, who had been practicing all week as one of the gunners. And they send him in at this time to make sure that Abrederis does not get a return. How about this freshman here tonight? One of the gunners after 2 long touchdowns, including a record setter, 91 yards, the longest run from scrimmage. And there he was all over Abrederis. Wow, what a night for the freshman.
He had a big smile on his face coming down on that punt coverage team. Hometown, back home, high school here, of course, in Los Angeles.
16 seconds for Russell Wilson. Pump coming long, got Abrederis open, got to get out of bounds. 9 seconds. Aliotti sets his safeties back on his own 25, nearly 20-yard line right now. In a prevent, Wilson. He's got Toon and down in the field. So Toon is upended, and it'll stop briefly. There's no time to really spike it with 2 seconds, is there? And Toon is shaken up onto play. He's going to stay on the field. This looks like the last snap of the ball game.
He's going to try to spike it here.
And he did. But the clock time ran out, didn't it?
Let's see what.
Now, wait a minute. They say put a second back, I think. Hang on here.
How about Russell Wilson in Wisconsin just moving the ball right down? I understand playing prevent by Oregon, but they didn't do anything to hold back the Wisconsin receivers and try to reroute them. I mean, they just walked downfield.
Watch this with the clock now. I'm not sure that he got it off. I think it's going to be really close. Listen, 2 seconds is a big gamble to attempt a spike.
I assumed he was going to spike it because of the alignment of the wide receivers. And that doesn't look like an alignment for a last play.
The Ducks think the game is over. They're still over there on the sideline.
Brent, did they start the clock before the ball was snapped?
Let's take another look at this as to when it started. Watch the official's arm. Wind it. He doesn't get it off.
No, he sure doesn't.
According to that, he doesn't get it off. You saw the referee wind the clock.
The clock responded to the officials in the appropriate manner.
After further review, prior to the spiking of the pass, the clock went to 0. The game is over.
The Oregon Ducks win the 98th Rose Bowl. Chip Kelley finally captures a BCS victory. And another Pasadena heartbreak for the Badgers. trophy will go north to Eugene, Oregon. A team that may have given LSU its best game of the year, and that was back in the opener. And then they were scratching and clawing to get back in that BCS battle. And what a hug for Alonso, who played a great game after I told you he'd been in the coach's doghouse earlier this year.
Very special moment, Brent, for Kiko Alonso. Player that was in the doghouse, but also Chip Kelley went to bat for him, continued to believe in, and ends up having an outstanding game here in the biggest game of the year for the Oregon team.
No question.
What a crazy game that had about everything you can imagine. How about Russell Wilson giving the Badgers potentially a chance? They went right down the field, bang, 2 plays.
Who knows? One more second.
Never know.
And now you look back on that timeout, that lost timeout.
Not only that, think of the Wisconsin season and their losses. Think of their last 4 losses. The 3 this year. The game last year against TCU came down to a 2-point conversion. Tank Carter knocks that ball down against Scott Tolzien. Badgers have been so close in so many big games.
Just 2 passes away from a undisputed Big Ten championship and probably a trip to the national championship game, although who knows under that circumstance what would have happened in the conference championship game. But you've got to feel very happy for these Ducks. They battled Auburn all the way last year down in the desert for a national championship. The year before that, they lost to Ohio State here in Pasadena. DeAnthony Thomas starting to mature as a quarterback. The Oregon Ducks are the Rose Bowl champions.
Mama, what's up?
And Chip Kelley trying to run away from it. Not now, guys, not now. We've got to get the trophy. I want to congratulate Coach Bielema on his great year.
Definitely worth going back and kind of catching our breath to remember Aberderis has that fair catch. They're way back inside their own 15-yard line. The first pass only takes about 5 or 6 seconds up. And then this is the big play, a little pump fake. He gets his man tuned downfield. 2 seconds left. They try to get up to the line of scrimmage. You can see the referee right there starts to move his arm. The operator here starts to move the clock. Peter Kahns and Russell Wilson, 2 of the best players, most experienced players, a little bit late in getting the snap up, and they just don't quite have enough time to get one more shot at the end zone. And Brett Bielema's thinking, my gosh, can I catch a break? And the big one here, the granddaddy of them all.
We've all seen something very special, folks. Not many of the 98 Rose Bowls have been as entertaining as this. Time now for the trophy presentation. We first recognize Mr. William Wang, the founder and the CEO of Vizio, and now Rick Jackson, the 2012 Tournament of Roses president, present the trophy. Rick?
On behalf of the Tournament of Roses, I'm pleased to present to you, Coach Kelley, the Rose Bowl Games Champions Trophy. Congratulations.
Folks, I don't know how many of you were here for the 1917 Rose Bowl, but that was the last time and the only time the Oregon Ducks have won this game. Chip, what does this victory represent for the program?
You know, for all of our fans out there, it's been 95 years since you could say Oregon Ducks Rose Bowl champions. And it's about this group right here.
You guys had to fight for 4 quarters, just as you have in a couple of big stages in recent years. What do you made the difference down the stretch?
I think these kids just believe, they have a faith in each other, that it's always going to work out for them, and it's based on their preparation. They buy into everything. Our coaching staff and our players get along so well. There's a great chemistry between all of us because we love and respect each other.
We'll talk to the 2 MVPs. One of them, the defensive MVP, Kiko Alonso, a guy who's had an interesting journey. You had to overcome a lot, his own mistakes and some bad luck. What does this represent to you as his coach the night he had this today?
Yeah, I get welled up about that, but I love Kiko, and I told him it wasn't about his interception, but what he's done and how he's come back is what this deal's all about. He's an outstanding young man. I love the kid.
Chip, congratulations. Let's speak now to the defensive player of the game. You're back here in your home state. We've talked about your journey here, which has been, you know, some bad luck's been part of it. Your mistakes have been part of it. What does this represent to persevere and have this game?
Man, it feels great. It's been a long run. We've been doing this since January, and we knew that we had to go all the way, all 4 quarters, and it feels great.
Your interception set up the game-winning points. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Let's bring in Lavoisier Tuine. A couple of touchdowns. Your final game as an Oregon Duck. What does this represent to you?
Man, it's a great feeling. I mean, we worked hard to get to this point, and when we had the opportunity to, come out like this, everyone stepped up and we won.
Congratulations to the Ducks.